wish to God this was a skit, but it's not. Let's let it play.
All right, the doctor walks in and tells me I'm in good health, but I'm sterile. I'm like, what you talking about I'm sterile? I got 3 kids. I don't make no damn sense to me. I don't understand I'm sterile. I don't know. It blows my mind. You know, I got 3 kids. One's 15, one's 12, one's 7. So I'm like, I don't understand that. So anyway, I go home and I just start thinking. These gotta be my kids. But I started thinking about the fact that every time we watch, like those Ancestry.com commercials, they come on and my wife kind of always turns the channel. I'm like, why you always turn it? I notice you always turn the channel. She's like, those are stupid. They don't even work. And I'm like, anyway, I started really thinking. I'm like, if I'm sterile, and the doctor said I've always been sterile. It's not like something that it's always been genetically since I was born. I started thinking, I'm like, man, I'm going to have to go ahead and get these kids tested. You know, I really didn't want to. I wanted to believe that my wife wouldn't do this to me, but I have to get my kids tested. So I secretly get a little sample of all of them. I go to the damn, the Ancestry.com place or whatever. And anyway, get them tested. Then I think about this. My wife got a birthday coming up. We got to throw this big birthday bash. We already been planned on it. So, basically I got the whole birthday bash planned. And then basically what happens is I get all of our families there, birthday bash. I get the popular mixologist in town. Chief of police comes because he works with my wife sometimes at our company. So chief of police, this whole big thing, because I want to make a big splash. It's her birthday, you see? So what ends up happening at a certain point, we bring the big birthday cake out. You know the old big birthday cakes you see on the movies? Got one of those big ones. And then I had a woman come out and she held up the sign and said, "You lying bee." And it blew everyone's mind. It blew her mind. What is this about? What is this about? And I was like, you know what? No, what this is about? It's about the fact that this mixologist is his son. Hey, let meet your daddy right here. I straight up had to tell him, this is your dad. Chief police, hey, this is your... So 15-year-old mixologist, that's his daddy. Chief police, 12-year-old, that's his daddy. And I was hurt. I was hurt. I was so hurt. I decided I just had to sleep in my car, man. I couldn't be in this house. I couldn't be around her. Just all these lies. I've been raising these kids for 15 years. There's no way they're mine. They're not. I'm sterile. So basically, I just, I'm in my car, sleeping in my car, going to work, doing the normal thing I do. And I just was, running into different issues and felt the need that I needed to go. I really needed to go back to church. I just really wanted to do that. And was getting some good, like the preacher and a lot of different people giving me some good advice and some good guidance, kind of helping me to understand that, it's not the kids' fault. You've been there for the kids, And, then I start finding out there's some problems. Kids are having problems in school because their dad's not there. They're used to having their dad for 15 years. I haven't been there, So I start going back, being there for my kids and everything like that or whatever. But I had to let her know. I'm like, I don't know if we can work this out. I don't know. Possibly, but I'm here for my kids. I'm going to try to be here for my kids because I feel like it's the right thing to do. It's what God wants me to do, and I think it's the best thing to do. So that's what I decided to do. Later on, and find out, because I have a 7-year-old. We didn't know who his dad was. So basically, after a certain amount of time with the Ancestry.com, like other people will get tested and everything like that or whatever. And then I got an alert from an email alert. And I'm like, really? So we kind of find out that it's this NBA Hall of Famers. I'm like, I was tripping. I'm like, this can't be the case. I go and ask her, I'm like, who's his dad? She's like, yes, that's his. I'm like, because my son, my son, he can ball. He can ball. And I ain't got no athletic skills, But, the thing is, me and my wife are still trying to work things out. I moved back in, but we ain't in the same room. Luckily we have multiple rooms. I'm there for my kids, even though they're not my kids, but they are my kids. I'm there for my kids. I'm the only father they know. So I've been doing the best that I can with this whole situation.
If it were me and I were in a situation like this, I would probably do the same thing in regards to being there for them kids. Because like he said, he's the only father that they know. And for me to have raised them for 15 years, the oldest one being 15, I couldn't see them as anything less than my children. Now, it's unfortunate what this woman has done to the entire family. But that doesn't mean that this man can't still be a father to those kids. Now, I know some of y'all are listening and y'all feel otherwise. Y'all be like, oh no, I'm about to leave her and leave them kids altogether. Brush this mess off of my shoulders. Well, if you're a man that indeed wanted a family, wanted kids, but only to come to find out later on that you're sterile, meaning that you couldn't have any, well, it only makes sense that the kids that you were raising as your own, you would want to continue to do just that because, heck, you can't go out there and have kids with someone else, right? But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. The most important thing is that he wised up and decided, you know what? I'm about to still be the father that y'all knew me to be. Now, in regards to him working things out with that woman, he better than me, because ain't no way. This woman done sat here and had 3 kids on this man by 3 different men at that. There ain't nothing to work out but this child support that I need paid back to me by each one of the men. Obviously, that's not going to happen. I feel like the court system would have made that happen had this role been reversed. But since it's the man, he's not going to get a dime from those other men that should be the ones providing for those kids, right? So he's going to sit here and have to continue to provide for kids that aren't his but are his, right? This reminds me of a story that I have told y'all once before, but I will tell it again for the newcomers. There was a girl I went to high school with that I was cool with for a while until I stopped hearing from her. And I only stopped hearing from her after she was telling me about what was going on with her family. You know, she was married to a man and she had 2 boys of her own from a previous marriage, and he wanted a kid. He really, really wanted a child. So they worked and worked and worked, and she would not get pregnant for nothing. All of a sudden, boom, she was pregnant. They were happy, they were joyful, they were excited. Finally, after trial and error, she finally got pregnant. Well, that baby came, and she noticed that the baby didn't quite look like her husband, but he did look like somebody else that she had been fooling around with, which was another guy that we went to school with. So she shows me pictures one day, right? Mind you, the husband is unaware of all of this. She shows me pictures one day, side-by-side comparison of the guy we went to high school with when he was a baby and her new baby. Identical. They look like identical twins. She's like, yeah, I've been fooling around with so-and-so. I'm like, how? I'm like, I didn't even know y'all were cool like that. She's like, yeah, it just sort of kind of just happened. I'm like, wow, that don't sort of kind of just happen when you're married. But anyway, it upset her. It upset her a great deal. And she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. She was like, my husband is so happy to be a father now. I don't want to break his heart. And she asked me, what should I do? I was like, you should do the right thing and tell him. Tell him that that child isn't his. She was like, but he might leave me. I'm like, well, that's the bed you made. You got to tell him. She's like, you're right. You're right. I just got to find out how I'm going to tell him and when the right time to tell him. After she said that, I never heard from her again. It's been a couple of years now. It's been a few years now. That child's probably about 4 or 5 now. I don't think she ever told him. Mind you, this was somebody that was blowing up my phone on a regular, wanting to talk for hours. You know them people that you can't get to shut up? Yeah, this is her. You can't get, you like, look, I gotta go. My phone about to die. Hang up. That's the only way you can get off the phone. I don't think she ever told him. I ain't heard from her. I can't even get in contact. I think she unfriended me on Facebook because she's probably living a lie and allowing her husband to raise a child that isn't his because the other dude, he didn't want anything to do with that child. I know y'all gonna have a field day with this one down in the comment section, so do just that. Leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. See ya.